Hello, bookworms. I'm showing you today some treats for your bookshelves. Because if you really want to treat your bookshelves well, you've come to the right place. Because this guy is going to show you best books that I really recommend. They're not necessarily my favourite, but I do think these are very good treats for your bookshelves. And I'm just doing picture books today because there's a lot more chapter books that I need to talk about, and they're pretty long. So I'll start off now. The first book I want to talk about is One Thing, featuring Carll and Lola, by Lauren Child. This is one of my favourite books because it's really funny, and because this is how Lola counts: 1, 2, 5, 7, 20, 16, 11, 9, 11, 9 birds singing. So it's really funny, and Charlie's the narrator, and it's just really funny. The next book I would like to talk about is Little People Big Dreams, Rosa Parks. I really loved the series Little People Big Dreams because it tells about very important people in history, and I picked this specific book out because it's just the first book that taught me what happened to black people in the olden days, because it wasn't right how it is now, even though it's better nowadays, but it's still going on, and it just taught me how it happened and why it happened, because there's just loads of different things that I never knew there were changes out there in the world. Ever. I never knew that. So this book really taught me about how they were treated in those days, and it just really stood out to me. The next book I would like to talk about is Hilda and the Black Hound. It is a comic. I can't remember what it's called. I discovered what the word was, and it is a graphic novel. I nearly forgot again, and I'll have to start over again. And because there's loads of pictures, they've got speech bubbles, so it's like a comic, but it's graphic, and it's a novel. I don't get it. And I just had to choose one book here because I wanted to do the whole Hilda series, but obviously I couldn't, otherwise that would take too long. And it's just really fun. It's really fun, and Hilda is so adventurous, and as you can see, and that's a little pet twig, and that's Tonto. Or tofu. No, it's not tofu. It's tonto. It's not that thing that vegetarians eat and sometimes kind of puts. Anyway, I thought this was really good, and it was just really nice. So I'd really recommend the Hilda series. Next book I would like to talk about is Here We Are by Oliver Jeffers. I really enjoyed this book because it teaches us all about how we're affecting the planet and how we can save it, and it teaches us all about the planet, and it could be the way that we are acting on the planet and how we could help, and like water and land and sea, and it teaches you all about it, and there's lots of pictures in it. That's why it's called a picture book. Because if there's a book with no pictures... I can't say anything about a book with no pictures. Even though there is a book called A Book with No Pictures. And the illustrations are great and I really, really, really love them. The next book I want to talk about is Mighty Minne by Melissa Castrillôn. I hope that I pronounced that right. Wait, it's called Mighty Minne, not Min. My nan's sometimes called that. And in the car they call it Coding Meme. Which is very weird. And I really like this book because it reminded me that you don't need to do what anyone else says about how tiny you are, because I mean, like, all of us are going to be tiny at one point, and I'm just always tiny, and in this book it just experiences how tiny, like, how the tiny can do good, because we might be tiny, but we're mighty. That's the phrase I always say. But we might be very tiny and small and cute, but we're mighty, strong, brave warriors. We are. And I just really love this book. I really, really, really do. Now you behave, books. The next book I want to talk about is Witchfairy by Brigitte. I really hope I pronounced that right, and I can't pronounce the illustrator because, like, Carll, Cneut, I think. So I really hope, if you're watching, I hope I got those names right. If I didn't, well, I didn't. I felt really sad for this witch fairy here because she couldn't do anything that she wanted to do, because she had to be all like the other fairies, and she would rather be a witch than a fairy because the way she treated at Fairyland. But one day she goes to the forest and actually goes to be a witch, but her mum's really worried. So she goes to see her because she actually misses her. So I really enjoy it. I really, really, really do. Because it just says that the message is that you don't need to be whoever. You don't need to be what other people say you need to be. You can be whoever you want to. So I really, really, really enjoyed this book. Next book I would like to talk about is Rain Before Rainbows by Smriti Halls and illustrated by David Litchfield. I love this book because the illustrations are so beautiful. Even at the first page, I can show you the first page. Look, see, it's already beautiful. And the illustrations are just so good and bright. I really love this one. I really love David Litchfield's illustrations that he did. And I really like this bit because she's cuddling up with the fox, and I really love foxes. Oh, she's that girl. Can I be in a book? Probably. I want it in real life, though, not just in a book. And I just really love the last page. I think it's so beautiful, and I don't know how a fox will. Ooh, it's dancing on two hind legs. That is crazy. I've never seen a horse dance and leap. Like doing the tango. So I really did enjoy this book. Okay. Next book I would like to talk about is The Incredible Book Eating Boy by Oliver Jeffers again, and illustrated by Oliver Jeffers, I think. Yeah. Oliver Jeffers. And I really like that Henry eats books, but I don't. But it was very weird that he's even smarter than his own teacher because of how many books he eats. And he thinks he can become the smartest person on earth. But when we go along and along, so he goes, and it's really funny because he's small and he gets on a stack of books, and then he's on the quiz show, and someone's got 0 points, someone's got 2 points, and Henry's got 4,367 points. But the thing was that everything was getting mixed up now because now he's saying 6 add 2 equals 3, then 2 add 6 equals elephant. It was all getting mixed up. Then he had a nightmare about a book trying to eat him. And look, see, because this is what he does. He takes a bite, chew, gulp, greener, greenest, bulk. An Irish word for throwing up. I don't know what those words say at the bottom, but yeah, it's a great book. And at the end, all he does is eat broccoli. But every now and then, and he reads all the time now, but sometimes, just for a little treat, no one's watching. I was actually nearly going to eat the book. Because look. So I really enjoyed this book. The next book I would like to talk about is The Paper Dolls by Julia Donaldson and illustrated by Rebecca Cobb. I really liked this book because I like the song. I like the song that they say, because they say, yeah, we Ticky and Tacky and Jackie the Batty and Jim with 2 noses and Joe with the bow. So there's Ticky, Tacky and Jackie the Batty and Jim with 2 noses and Joe with the bow. And they hopped somewhere and they keep on hopping and jumping and going everywhere, going inside the house over and over. But then at one point, into the garden, and they sniffed the flowers and they chatted to a ladybird and lay down in a forest of grass. But along came a boy with a pair of scissors, and he said, "I'll snip you," and he did. He snipped them into tiny pieces, and he said, "You're gone forever." But the paper dolls sang, "We're not gone on, no. We're holding hands and we won't let go. We're Ticky and Tacky and Jackie the Backy and Jim with 2 noses and Joe with the bow." And all the pieces joined together, and all the paper dolls flew into the little girl's memory. And I just really like that they flew into there, because I bet they didn't come together, but they just came together so then they could find themselves in the little girl's memories. And then she could remember them. And when she grows up, she has a daughter, and she taught her how to make her own paper dolls. And there were Poppy and Pinky and Blinky and Binky the Blinky and Fred with one eyebrow and Fly with the bone. So I really like this book, even though it did make my heart a little because they got snipped into tiny pieces. But it was really, really nice to read. The next book I would like to talk about is, I really could have called it David Attenborough, but it is I Go Quiet by David Ouimet and illustrated by David Ouimet. Which is quite weird. And it just reminded me of how I can be quiet sometimes. And I felt really sad for the little girl in there because, look what she does, because she tries to talk and she's not heard. And she wants to be different from the others. And I just love the illustrations, and sometimes she's imagined where she would like to be. Because she can't be heard, she doesn't really talk, the thing is. And then, but she reads a lot, and at the end, there was one day I'll make a shimmering noise. Because she says she'll make cities with her words one day. And I really, really love the illustrations. They're just so beautiful, and it just really warmed up my heart, this book, because it just reminded me of how I go quiet sometimes, because of how sometimes I talk very, very quietly, and it just really reminded me of that, and it was just really, really nice. So I enjoyed it lots. Next book I would like to talk about is another Little People with Dreams books called David Attenborough by Maria, I wish I had the first name out, Maria Isabel Sanchez Vegara. And if you are watching Maria Isabel Sanchez Vegara, a big shout out, and also I am your #1 fan because I've got all the books. All of them. So I am a #1 fan. I really, really love David Attenborough because he always tries to save the planet. And I really do follow his advice. And I can't believe that he's got united by the Queen twice. And that he always tries to save the planet, and that he always goes and meets animals to try and help them, and he always discovers more and more animals to help try and save the climate, because these poor animals, they're trying to live, but humans are not doing what they need. And he's not just trying to look after the animals, he's also trying to save the planet, because the more he tries to save the planet, the more he will encourage others, and the more the people will save the planet because he's encouraged them, the better the planet will be. And the better the planet will be, the more the climate change will be gone. So I really, really, really like this book. I'd really recommend it as well. And as I say again, Little People Big Dreams is my favourite series. Probably. Yeah. So I'd really recommend this book. No, the next book I would like to talk about is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. I really enjoyed this book because I borrowed it from my friend and I really enjoyed it, so I went out and got it myself. And the illustrations are really nice, and it's just a great book. It has lots of illustrations, and they all become really, really good friends. So I really, really, really enjoyed this book. And also on one page, I'm trying to find it now. There's this page where he was drawing, and then a tea stain got on there, and it made it look really pretty. I'm trying to find it. I really would recommend this book because the illustrations are amazing. The last book. Oh, no, not the last book. The next book I would like to talk about was the original Velveteen Rabbit by Margery Williams, and this book actually made me cry because he was left in a stocking, and then one day a little boy couldn't find his china doll to sleep with, so he slept with him, and he just couldn't, and the boy loved him very much, but the poor Velveteen Rabbit, he really wanted to join the other rabbits, the real life ones, but he couldn't because he couldn't hop like them, and it was just really nice. And I felt really sorry for him when the boy got sick and he couldn't see him and he couldn't play with him or anything, and he had to go in a bag to be burnt because the boy, because it wasn't set in the olden days and there was no washing, so it had to be thrown away. So he had to be put in a fire because of the germs. But in the end, a fairy came to see him, and like that, and it turned him into a real rabbit so he could hop. And then it was really nice at the ending because he was playing around. The boy was playing around in the field, and the rabbit was as well. And he had a white rabbit, a white Velveteen rabbit, and then the boy said, "That looks like my old brown rabbit, but it had to be thrown away." And so the rabbit still knows that he's out there. It just really lit up my heart when I read this book, so I would really recommend it. The last treat for your bookshelf that I need to show you is Once Upon a Unicorn Horn, Once Upon a Dragon's Fire, and Once Upon a Mermaid's Tale. I would really recommend these, and the illustrations are beautiful, and it is written and illustrated by Beatrice, and also if you haven't got these and you really want to know about these, you can look at episode 2 called Author Spotlight, and it has all the facts about these in there. So if you haven't watched it already, watch it please. And they are a really good set of books. They are called Once Upon a Unicorn's Horn, Once Upon a Dragon's Fire, and Once Upon a Mermaid's Tale. So that's all I have to show you today, bookworms. And if you do want to treat your bookshelves with these books, they will be below down in the comments. And also in the comments there will be my link for my Instagram channel, because if you're looking for any more books, there'll be loads of reviews on my Instagram channel. So if you do want to find more books, they will be there. And I really do hope that you treat your bookshelves with these books. Also, if you do bother, please do press the like and subscribe button because it will really help. So thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night where you are, and I will see you very soon. Bye!